Welcome to Release to Results. This is our Course in Miracles series, going through the workbook of A Course in Miracles, using each idea presented in the daily lesson as a topic for a letting go session. So we've just gone over the 80 different ideas, let go on 80 different ideas, release and higher, no, release this energy that's been uh, that we've just been carrying. We've got huge accumulations, huge. It's energy. So, you can fit it into your thumbnail or you can spread it out into big amounts, but it's just a sound coming out of this mouth to say there's some feelings that have been stuck. There's some energy that's been carried, and it obscures the light that you are. The negative energy, anyway. As you release more and more, you'll come into more and more positive energy, which always remains. You can never get rid of the positive, the negative runs out. And we stack up that negative energy more and more and more and more over a lifetime or lifetimes. And now's the opportunity to let that go. So, what is it obscuring your light? Today we got two lessons for review. I am the light of the world, and forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. So this negative energy, these survival programs that the ego is running to have you identify as a separate body and therefore be lost from your source, what you actually are. These survival programs are feelings, fear, apathy, shame, guilt, anger, pride, and desire. These kinds of energies just obscure your light. You are a limitless source, and these feelings just cover that up. Your light, what you are. So today we'll be releasing on what is obscuring our light because we are the light of the world. Can you see that? Are you radiating that out to others? Are you so bright that nothing can obscure your choices of what you're here to do? Nothing can stop you from fulfilling your function of forgiving the world, spreading forgiveness and light throughout the world. So let's begin. Lesson 61 was, I am the light of the world. What is the light of the world? How bright is the light of the world? The light of a Christ, the light of one of the great teachers of God. That's you. Nothing, nothing can obscure that light. You, light of the world, though it might seem like it. So could you just simply acknowledge something other than this incredible brightness that you are? Some shadow that's just obscuring it a little bit definitely can't overtake it. So you could bring anything up, anything other than bright, radiant light that you might be feeling, to bring it to the light. What seems to be obscuring your shining, your radiance in the world? And if you don't know, you can just ask, what's the biggest cloud around my light bulb? And whatever comes up for you, could you just acknowledge it without judging it, moralizing about it? We've spent so much time releasing, attacking, and guilting and making wrong of things. Could it just be okay to notice something that's been hanging around, covering up your light? And behind the thought of any thought, there's a feeling. Could you notice the feeling, how it feels? That fear, that anxiety, whatever it is. Could you allow yourself to light it? just shining on it, feeling it, noticing it, being aware of this energy. And as best you can, just ignoring the thoughts. There's no amount of shadow that can ever obscure your light. Could you let all of that up? Just keep shining. Whatever's there for you, keep feeling it, keep allowing it, noticing it. And could you let go of this feeling which has been obscuring your light? It's just a choice, and you never have to. Would you let go of that shade, that emotional interference with what you really are, light of the world? When could you let go and light the world? You already are. Could you allow yourself to shine even brighter, releasing some shadow? You are the light of the world. I am the light of the world. How holy you are, given the function of lighting up the world. What a joyous job title. Hi, I'm Arna, light of the world. You know, and you cannot stop that light. Though there may have been some misperception as to your function here. Perhaps some idea that I need to worry about stuff, be fearful of things, be angry at things, attack things, defend myself. And anything that's you've been doing other than your function of lighting the world, your holy task before you, could you just notice something else you've been doing other than joyfully lighting the world? And without condemnation, judging, or moralizing about whatever comes up for you, could it be okay? Oh, look, I was doing something else other than my job. Okay. And could you notice how it feels when you're doing that? That worrying, that afraiding, that angering, whatever it is, whatever you were mistaking your job to be, trying something else out. You just notice how that feels. Just some energy, just a feeling. And wherever it is, might seem like it's in your chest or your stomach or your throat, wherever it's been hanging out, could you just check it out? Shine your light on it. Allow it to be there. It cannot overtake you. A mere shadow in your path. Could you feel that more? Allow that energy, that feeling to be lit more just by looking at it, noticing it, letting it be there. And could you release this shadow, this feeling? Have your light pierce right through what was never there. Would you release and have all your conflicts disappear? Continue to light the world. Your one job. That's it. When could you release, abandoning what you were doing other than lighting the world? It's just a choice. You are the light of the world. Could you feel your light as the shadow lifts? How enlightened you are as you let go of negative feelings and are restored to your full brightness. Could you be aware of what it feels like to be enlightened as you release darkness? And it takes what it takes. You know, some of this stuff we really insisted on is our job, other than lighting the world, other than being happy. And that's okay. Because the releasing, the letting go happens on its own as we allow it to, as we just allow what seems dark, a passing shadow, a wave of emotion, as we allow that to go through instead of trying to stop it, hold it, control it. The light just dissipates it. It's gone. So, light of the world, what have you bought into? What have you been trying other than shining? Other than your holy task? And it's okay. It's okay. Many of us get a little bit lost. So maybe you thought it was your job to be angry about something. Maybe you thought it was your job to be sad about something or to feel helpless. Perhaps you even thought it was your job to be afraid of something, worried about something. Can you just notice any tasks you've given yourself other than lighting the world? And taking one of those tasks, just a mere error, it's okay. Can you notice how it feels when you're fulfilling some function or attempting to fulfill some function other than lighting the world? Could you notice how that feels, Giovanna, when you're attempting some other function than lighting the world, whatever one you were trying out? Oh, how does that feel? To be focused, obscured, focused on something other than your true function. Could you let that run? Let that feeling run out, bringing your light to it, your awareness, your attention. That's all the shadow wants, is not to be lighted. Could you allow yourself to light it, look at it, notice it, feel it? Allowing the shadow to dissipate. Could you let go of this function you've given yourself other than lighting the world? Would you let go of this function other than lighting the world if you could? When could you let go and let there be light? We need you. We wait patiently for you to light the world. Could you do that? And lesson 62, forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. As you fulfill your function of forgiving, you will see your function as the light. So it is through forgiveness that you will light the world. And all that takes is noticing, where have you done something other than forgive? Is there anywhere you've been holding a grievance, a grudge, a resentment, an attack? And that's okay. Just an opportunity to do your job, fulfill your function. Could you notice anywhere where there has been a withholding of forgiveness? And could you simply allow it up? Notice it, feel it. What does it feel like to not be forgiving something? And could you let that energy run? It cannot withstand the light. Could you just keep lighting whatever it was that you weren't forgiving? That attack, that resentment, that sadness or guilt. Could you let it be enlightened by merely allowing your light to shine on it with your focus? Put the high beam on it and let that energy move. Let that shadow be pierced. And could you release? Would you release and fulfill your function? Light of the world, forgiving. When could you forgive, release, and light the world? You never have to. This infinite power and light that you are has no need for making wrong of anything you choose to do. Nothing to force you to do, for the light cannot be touched by the darkness. As soon as the light touches the darkness disappears. So what have you been doing, holding in darkness? Has there been any attacking anything or anyone? Could even be something this body has done. Guilting making wrong of, criticizing, condemning? Where have you been separating yourself from the light that you are, which has no use for such things? And it's okay. Could you allow yourself to feel what it feels like, to notice this shadow, what it's like to hang out in the darkness of attacking, guilting, condemning, wronging? Could you bring the light to it, thereby proving its non existence? Could you feel what it feels like, this darkness, lighting it up, letting it run? It will run out as you light it. And could you surrender, give up any shadow, any darkness, this feeling? Just let it go. Would you allow, through just surrendering, the light to eliminate from your perception that which was never there? When could you surrender attempting some function other than forgiving and allow forgiveness, your forgiveness, to light and save the world? What a function, what a holy task you have, light of the world. And all that you are required to do is go around and forgive and bring light. That's your only job. That's it. Have you convinced yourself, or have you bought into some idea that you have something else to do? Is there a place where you've got a justified resentment, where there's something wrong you need to do something about, like hold on to a grudge? Are you bad? Something you've done wrong or awful? There's all kinds of crazy things it seems like we're supposed to do other than forgive, like dwell in guilt or anger or fear. Could you bring your light to something which you have not forgiven? Without further error of condemnation or moralization or judgment of whatever comes up for you, could you simply notice where you've been doing something other than your job of forgiveness? How does that feel when you're doing something other than forgiving and lighting the world? As if that was even possible, to have some other job. Could you notice that feeling? Allow it to be there. Bring your light to it. Enlighten it. just by looking at it, noticing it, feeling it. And could you surrender this false occupation, this feeling? Would you give up this feeling and the insanity that goes with it to be sane and enlightened, forgiving yourself, forgiving the world? When could you surrender to the light? Any darkness, any shadow, nothing to fear, just a passing blip that will disappear as you let it be light, as you enlighten it, as you forgive yourself, forgive the world. Could you allow that to be your function today in this year? Light of the world. Well, hi everybody, I'm Light of the World, here to bring salvation to the world through my forgiveness. May I shine on you? Could you allow yourself to shine brightly this year and all through this last night of the year? Could you end with a glorious display of your light, your love, your forgiveness? How much can you forgive from 2024? How much can you forgive and light the world? Shine brightly out there, you God lights. Enjoy your function. It's a great job. Only you can do it. It's all you have to do. We need you. We can't light without you. Have the best day you can.